Hello, everybody. How are we today? I think Chip is still live, streaming from my Discord server where I having two discussions at once. A bunch of people are being debated. So maybe it's gonna be more of an intimate stream today, which is fine by me. We're just having fun today. Who's Chip? That's funny. Oh, it's the Blue Duck. You don't know who it is. It's another vegan YouTuber. I can give you the link if you want to go and listen to them as well. If you give me a second. Give me just a second and I'll give you Chip's live stream link. Okay? One sec. Let me just mute it so that I don't blow your head out of its thing. And that's their link. That's Chip's link. All right. So who would we have here today? Hello Pia. Hello Jason. Jake, what's up? Hello Bianca. The Blue Duck, we already said hi. Nice to see you again. What's up, Andrew Lawson? Brett is here. Hello. And the LTN, of course, and Soy Daddy jumped in for like a second. We don't, it's today's an intimate stream. We don't, Soy Daddy, you can stay with Cheap if you want to moderate that place. Like horizontal streaming, so not many people probably gonna come in that need like moderation, but also PA is here, so we're totally fine. Hello, Marcos. Cheap ended his stream. It's because of me? Not good. Not good. I don't. He should have continued. Anyways, so I was thinking, we keep telling people that they should go vegan. We keep telling farmers that they should go vegan. But have we actually looked at what can they do, right, afterwards? So I was thinking maybe we can ask ChatGPT a bunch of questions and see how hard is it to actually transform your farm, your dairy farm, for instance, into a vegan dairy farm. So like oat farm, oat milk farm, something like that, right? So let's see if we can do that. Share my screen. ChatGPT is gonna help us out with this one. We're of course gonna take everything with a grain of salt because it doesn't know everything. It's gonna generalize, right? Yeah, the Blue Duck. You have a question. Let me know what it is. A question. Do you think that crop farming is okay? Well, it has some problematic practices happening at this moment, right? So we're definitely gonna have to fix those problems in crop farming, but it's not inherently wrong, right? It's plants don't feel pain, don't experience life. Therefore, farming them is not morally questionable. Our stuff on us, the stuff on the side, the stuff to produce a huge amount of crops, of which 43% globally goes to feed the animals, right? To do it globally, to do it like more efficiently, there are issues that some animals are still killed during that farming, and probably some soil depletion issues as well. But all of those things we can fix with technology. And frankly, the biggest fix would be to stop breeding animals into existence so that we have to grow 43% of the crops and give it to them. We can just like grow human crops and give it to humans instead, and that would be much less crops, right? About 200 million hectares less, to be incredibly specific. Right, let's continue. So I also have like this drawing board in which we're gonna try visualizing our proposed farm. So yeah, let's see if we can do that stuff. Let's see if we can do such a thing. We can veganize a farm and remain consistent when we ask farmers to go vegan, right? Yeah, not a problem. You're always welcome to ask questions. The blue dog. That's what I'm here for, frankly. Ooh, look at that. It's so pretty. Wow. So I'm gonna just like look for pictures here on the side. I am still scarred for life since there was this one live stream and a penis appeared on the screen when I was looking for something completely innocent. So I'm just gonna look for it off the side right there. So first I wanted to ask, what stuff are there on the farm, right? On the dairy farm specifically, and then see like what we can do with it to transform it into oat milk farm, right? So what structures and equipment exist on a what do you call it? Average dairy farm. There's like, I don't think people know just how much equipment there is on a dairy farm. Very expensive equipment. So that's what we're trying to see here, right? On average, modern dairy farm, the structures and equipment are designed around 4 main functions: housing cows, milking, feeding and watering, and waste and young stock management. By that, they mean the byproduct of dairy production, which is the sentient baby cows. You see they're like grouped together, the waste and the young stock management, right? So that's how we treat baby animals. Below is a clear systematic overview with notes on how things differ, farm size and production system. Well, we'll see. Cow housing, free-stall cubicle barns, most common in industrialized countries, and that's where we are. So frankly, that's what we're gonna do. That's whom we advocate to become vegan usually, industrialized farmers, right? Scrap metal, yeah. Individual lying stalls, often with rubber mats or sand bedding. Alleys for walking, feeding and manure scraping. Ventilation, open sides, ridge vents and fans. Tie stall barns, more common on older small farms. Each cow is tethered in one place. Feeding, resting and often milking occurs at the same stall. Dry cow pens, separate housing for non-lactating cows close to calving, so the pregnant animals get different stalls. By the way, I really thought that those animals are still milked, because there is the thing, we bred them selectively to be able to still produce milk while already being pregnant with the next one. And transition maternity pens for cows just before and after giving birth. So that's different structures. So, sorry. Okay, I'm getting distracted by the chat. So there's the milking parlor, herringbone, parallel, rotary, whatever. Let's skip that one. We'll just choose one. And then there's like robotic milking system and milk handling, which is like bulk milk cooling tank. There is like a huge stainless steel tanks that each farm has, and every couple of days they send that tank to the processing plant. Plate of tubes, heat exchangers, and cleaning in place systems. And then there's the feeding, watering infrastructure, feed storage, feed. Why is that Ask GPT there? Okay, feed delivery, water systems, and then calf and young stock facilities, all together with the waste. Oh, I guess they're separating it here, but yeah. So you have calf housing separately from animal mothers, feeding equipment, weaning heifer pens, right? Which grow to replace their mothers. And you have manure waste and waste management. So manure collection, manure storage, and spreading equipment, manure spreaders, slurry tankers. Oh, it's just fucking amazing, all of that. And then you have health handling and management structures. So, you know, those probably big cages to lock the animals in place when you want to grape them or check their actual health. So handling facility, shoot squeeze systems, sorting gates and headlocks. That's the one that I meant. Well, the headlock is the one where they just like lock the head, and then there's the one that where you lock the entire body in it. Hoof trimming chute. That's the one I think where you lock the entire body. Then foot baths, but I'm not sure what they mean. Like, is it separate from the one where, for instance, they cut off their horns? I don't know. Medicine storage. And then identification and monitoring, ear tags, activity collars, or leg sensors, and farm management software. So utilities and support infrastructure, right? Farm office control room, electrical systems, often high load, backup generators, and then difference on farms. That doesn't matter. So let's start populating our little farm here. So let's start with cow housing. That at least doesn't include machinery for growing their own crops. That's a good point. Maybe they just like buy stuff. Well, it probably says so in the difference. I just asked it for an average dairy farm, and I'm guessing they're looking for an average dairy farm in the US where you buy the feed, wouldn't you? You just buy the feed. Yeah, not a problem, Chip. You shouldn't have ended your stream. You should have continued. It doesn't matter if we go live at the same time. Really doesn't matter. Okay. So there's probably difference between those rotary parlors, robots, lagoons. Lagoons is the shit lagoons in it. Okay, so let's start populating our thing. So headlock stalls, and we're not gonna be like two cattle. We're not gonna be too close to what's actually happening, right? We're just gonna give representations of things. Let's go with dry cattle feed pile, right? Just to give it a little bit of background. Let's, oh, that's ugly. Let's grab another one. There you go. Oh, no, that one is also ugly. Oh, that one is perfect. Look at that. Oh, so pretty. So can we send it to back? Send to back, and then we can increase that. Look at that. Perfect. As our background, that's really good. Okay. And then we have like a bunch of cows in here. And then let's grab like a milking machine. Let's see one like actually connected to the cow or something. Let's get one of those rotary thingies. Because I think, oh, there you go, copy image. I think those would cost the most, wouldn't they? Holy shit, look at that, rotary machines. Let's just grab them right there. Let's just put them right there. Those cows go in there. And then what else do we have here? Oh, we need one of them milking tanks, don't we? Oh, we need a bunch of calves as well. So calf housing, dairy. Let's just grab a bunch of calves. and let's put them really like far away from the mothers. Right there. Let's just like keep them very separate, because that's what we do. And the calves, very separate, drinking from the buckets instead of the mothers, because the milk goes to the human being. Right, what else do we need? Oh, the tanker, the milk tanker. Milk tanker. I guess it's one of those that don't necessarily have a truck, but they like spill the milk on farm into this thing. That's good enough, right? We don't have to be like as correct as possible. Now, oh, we forgot one thing. We forgot the manure and waste management, of course. So let's see what we have. Manure storage, so manure pit. Let's look if we have like a representation for that, because the shit will come out and it has to be stored. It's not going to be pretty, but there you go. So the number one produced product on the dairy farm is in fact shit. So that's what we're going to do. There you go. Does that look like a farm, guys? Put one in the chat if that looks like a dairy farm to you. Put two in the chat if you think I forgot something very, very crucial, because there were a few things there, right? Like I could like find the veterinary care question mark shit and stuff like that. But I don't know, maybe this is enough. Nobody's putting you on the chat. Oh, thank you, Sasquatch. Thank you. Thank you, Sabi. I appreciate that. The calf huts. Well, yeah, there are. I could have done the calf huts, but I put the calves in pens right there. There are like calves in pens right there. So we have calf representation, whether they're in singular shoots or in pens like that on a smaller farm. I'm assuming. I think that's what we're getting there. Short animations. What's going on? Are we fighting short animations? Almond milk is so good, it helps. Oh. Terrible. Terrible. Go for soy milk. God damn it. What do you mean you opt for more humane options? What does that mean? I like smaller charts like this. Thank you so much. I worked so hard for 4 years to have a very small chat. I'm joking, it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm glad it's helping you. Lots of vegan lives show up for me, and I like to listen to them. I hope you guys don't mind me here. Well, why aren't you vegan then yet? If you keep listening to us, surely we make some sense to you, right? You are welcome here, it's fine. Okay, let's continue, I guess. Oh, what's up, Neil? I haven't seen you joining. Good to see you. And, of course, Sabi Coops. I hope I did that okay this time. All right. So, we have our dairy farm. Let's now see if we can turn it into an oat farm. So, first thing I think I should ask is... does an average dairy farm have arable land? Because if they don't, it's going to take a little bit of time and work to turn non-arable land into arable land, right? But let's see what ChatGPT says. Yes, but not always. Most dairy farms have some arable land, yet many, especially larger or more intensive ones, rely heavily on purchased feed and may have little or even no cropland of their own. Well, cropland is not what I asked. I didn't ask if they actually use the land for crops. I asked if the land is arable. And by the way, you can turn a non-arable land into arable thing, like into arable land. I'm pretty sure people do that. We're going to ask it in a second as well. So, but let's learn more about dairy farms, right? So why dairy farms typically have arable land? It's the thing that Tone was pointing out, right? Hey, what's up, Sleep Shady? Traditionally, dairy farms are mixed livestock arable systems because land is useful for growing forage crops, maize, corn, silage, alfalfa, lucerne, never heard that word before, and grass. Producing hay. Well, look at that. Grass grows on arable land. Gosh, isn't that interesting? So if we, for instance, wanted to replace grass with a different crop, we could. Wow. Producing hay or silage for winter feeding, manure disposal, nutrient recycling for fields. I think this gives us an idea of whether we can turn a non-arable land into arable land, reducing feed costs and supply risk. What counts as arable land on a dairy farm? So forage cropland. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to reduce the volume of Discord. I'm so sorry. Discord owning is so hard. I need to be online all the goddamn time. Oh, the conversation is still going on, Chip, and you are here? How dare you? Chip is there. Forage cropland is maize, silage, alfalfa, clover, and annual forage crops. Permanent pasture, so grazed by cows or heifers, again, on an arable land. Oh my god. Sometimes not arable in the strict sense, but still farm-owned land. Yeah, that's what I said. Sometimes dairy farms don't use the arable land to grow crops, but it's still an arable land, right? And then you have cash crops with barley, soybeans, often rotated with forage crops. So they also make money on the side, selling plant foods already. That's good news, guys. That means that those farms can switch into oat milk production or soy milk production, whichever. We just gave an example of an oat milk production in the thumbnail. So they can switch very easily because they already have all of this land, right? Okay, it didn't seem to help that I reduced the volume. Let me reduce it even more to the point of I can barely hear it, and hopefully you can barely hear it as well. Okay. It's okay to debate. Why aren't you here to debate? This is an important subject, right? Short animation 50. Do you think it's like an important subject of whether or not we should exploit and slaughter animals for unnecessary stuff? Seems important enough to me is that I basically like abandoned my life and now do like shitload of activism instead of living my life. So, like, what I'm saying is, like, the minimum thing that you can do is debate it. You're not here to debate, that's fine. If you don't want to debate, that's fine, you can keep listening. You disagree with exploitation, but you're not vegan? That's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, if I know you don't want to debate, I'm just, like, asking a question into the ether, I guess. Like, if I was, like, causing exploitation and saying, yeah, well, I'm against exploitation, would be weird, wouldn't it? I don't know. I'm just asking a question into the ether. We're not debating. That's fine. You're not against debating. Okay. Well, maybe people can help you out. When dairy farms don't have arable land. So, specialized industrial dairies. So, in California, Israel, and Netherlands, they have specialized industrial dairies, whatever that means. Commonly in parts of, feed is largely imported, so silage, grain, protein meals, and land may be limited, so barns, lagoons, minimal buffer fields. These are sometimes called landless or near landless dairies in the environmental literature. So urban adjacent or high density regions. There are dairies in high density regions. Interesting. So like, maybe like, I guess in India, you like just walk around and there is a dairy farm, I guess. That happens sometimes. How common is arable land ownership? Very roughly, small and medium dairy farms usually own or lease arable land. Large industrial dairies often insufficient land to grow all feed, sometimes blah, blah, blah. And pasture, well, it still could be arable land, they're just not using it, right? And then pasture-based systems, mostly grassland, little arable cropping, but extensive land base, right? So quite a lot of them, quite often. Why does that matter? That didn't ask you that. ChatGPT, God fucking damn it. Okay, so what did we wanna ask? So, can you turn a non-arable land, whatever it's called, I don't remember, into arable land generally, right? So it doesn't answer specifically. Generally, yes, many types of non-arable land can be turned into arable land, but only within limits and often at high environmental, economic, and ethical cost. Oh, that's interesting. What happens here? But only within, some land is effectively non-convertible without severe damage or unsustainable inputs. So, what happens? What non-arable actually mean? Land is usually classified as non-arable because of one or more limiting factors. Poor or shallow soil, steep slope, excess water, or flooding. Well, on steep slope, you're not going to be like having a dairy farm. You're not going to have that. Poor or shallow soil, you could, I guess. Excess water or flooding, you're not going to have a farm there either. Aridity to dry, cold, short growing season, salinity or toxicity, legal or ecological protection. Okay, so types of non-arable land and convertibility, marginal grasslands and rangelands. Well, that's fucking arable land, isn't it? God damn it. Sometimes possible, it says. How? Plowing, reseeding, fertilization, irrigation. So if you, for instance, have all of that shit, and if you buy a plow, and you buy a bunch of seeds, then you can turn a non-arable land into arable land, right? Limits cost, high soil carbon loss, erosion risk, biodiversity loss. Well, you're already on a dairy farm. There is no biodiversity there. God damn it. And often only viable short term. Many grasslands are non-arable for good reasons, thin soil, drought. Well, those are external reasons, right? And if you have like I understand what they're saying. So if you have like a grassland on thin soil and you have drought, you don't really care that the grassland is going to turn gray, into a straw because the animals are going to eat it anyways. All right. So I guess if you don't really have arable land, the questions are weird, right? So it's going to be harder. Okay, but let's assume that you do have arable land. And you have like all this shit stored for many, many years, right? You have access shit. And you basically want to stop dairy farming and you want to turn it into oat milk farming, right? So let's just like not beat around the bush. Let's just ask the question. I want to turn my dairy farm into an oat milk farm without killing sentient individuals and without missing paying too much money for it. How can I make the same money from an oat milk farm? No, that's not the question. How can I transition into oat milk farming and remain financially afloat? It could tell us that it's not possible. And then it's gonna be terrible. Again, the parameters are let's delete this without because we're gonna put it here. No more exploitation of sentient animals. 2, no killing of sentient animals. 3, can do have arable land even if unused. 4, do have loads of manure, obviously, from previous farm function. 5, can sell farm supplies and structures to second-hand buyers. That would become like an issue for the last farms. But like for the current farms, if somebody like has a dairy farm and their tanker broke or something like that, their like milk tank structure is still a thingy, they can just like buy one secondhand from a closing farm, right? And should we allow like gradual transition? I don't know. I'm conflicted on that. Obviously, I don't want that. I want the individuals to be immediately not harmed anymore, right? No exploitation of sentient animals, no killing animals. No, I'm not gonna allow it. 6. The sentient individuals. I guess I'm not gonna give it an idea. It can solve it itself. What else should I add? Hey, what's up, Michael? Ask me. Hello, Tessa. What else should I add to the to our thing? I'm not thinking of anything else. What else can we add? I'm not successful in thinking anything else. How about pa, 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 pa. Yeah, that's about it. Please advise. And then if we'll see if it's still acting immorally, we'll see what we can do to fix that, right? Let's go. That took ages. Holy shit. I hope you're still here, everybody. That took literal fucking ages. Oh, God. Manure isn't required for arable. That's fine. We already have that, right? So we can turn maybe like non-arable. It can track a question, so probably. Okay, so let's see. This is a serious, viable transition, and your constants actually make it easier, not harder. Fuck yeah! Perfect. No individuals have to be harmed. Below is a really realistic step-by-step plan that focuses on cash flow continuity, asset conversion, and risk reduction while fully meeting your ethical conditions. Perfect. Isn't that cool? That's really fucking cool. We can do it, Andrew. We can. I'll assume a typical small meat dairy farm, but the logic scales, yeah. I think those are the first ones that's gonna go anyways, right? Somebody who's like build a fucking industrial farm are less likely to go vegan. Yeah. So, big picture first, so this doesn't feel overwhelming. Thank you. I appreciate it. ChatGPT is so like so thoughtful. You are not transitioning into an old meat factory overnight. Yeah, obviously. You are transitioning through 3 overlapping phases. Step 1, exit animals. Exit animals. That just sounds ChatGPT. That just sounds. That's unacceptably ambiguous. Exit animals without financial freefall. Exit animal farming. I'm supposing that's what ChatGPT means. It's unlikely for a language model, learning language model, to give us such a poorly constructed sentence. Jesus Christ. Hello, Kyla. Become a profitable oat and rotation crop producer. Yeah. Add value later. Oat milk when cash flow is stable. That's good. Yeah. The transition is through plant farming. That's good. I like it. The biggest mistake people imagine is I must replace milk revenue with oat milk revenue immediately. You don't. You replace milk by grain, then grain by oat milk. Perfect. It's really, really nice. Right. So, phase 1, ethical and financial disengagement from dairy, 0 to 12 months. That's doable. Stop the exploitation without killing animals. Your constraints rule out selling cows into slaughter pipelines. It is. Viable options. There you go. Option A, sanctuary. You can totally do that. Rehoming, sanctuary, rehoming, exit, gradual. So rehoming, there is an issue there, right? Not many people keep cows as pets, right? So if you're gonna rehome the cows, you better not do it on a dairy farm. Right. Or in like a 4-H situation. Don't do that. No. The second option is not good. Hobby farmers. No fucking way. We are not exploiting animals and we are not giving them a way to continue being exploited. No way. So the first is going to be just sanctuary. So no, ChatGPT. Not good. So, but let's see. They say animal sanctuaries. That good. Hobby farmers. No way. Commit contractual to no slaughter, but they're not committing to no exploitation, so that's not good. And transfer cows in batches to avoid sudden income collapse. So we're still exploiting animals for a little bit. I guess, like, that's fair. You can't ask a person to completely financially collapse their business. But surely, If somebody has like some kind of nest egg, maybe they can. Yeah, they're gonna have to do it transitionally. I guess there's fucking no way, is it? Yeah. Option B, natural attrition, slow but safest. Stop forced breeding immediately. Good. That's already a good thing that is happening. Milk until natural decline. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I guess. I guess it's like an evil that we would have to accept for a little bit. Retire animals to pasture until death. That would be actually perfect if you already have pasture. Allocate some of that pasture to the animals to just live out their lives as pets, the way Rowdy Girl Sanctuary did. This is slower but minimize capital shock. Many transitioning farms use hybrid. Rehome some, retire others. Okay. By retire, I surely fucking hope they're not slaughtering them. Okay. Liquidate dairy-specific assets with your bridge money. This is your bridge money, it says. So, helping us transition. So let's say we've taken, let's say we stopped forced breeding. Let's say we take option B, right? We stopped forced breeding immediately. We milk the cows because we already have like cows who are like lactating, and you still have to like, for this transition to have like some kind of a money. Still terrible, right? You're gonna do it while crying, I suppose, if you become like a vegan farmer. And then you retire the animals to pasture to continue eating grass on one of your lands, which you probably have. So liquidate their specific assets. This is your bridge money. You are sitting on tens of hundreds of thousands in capital. True. So dairy farms, they have like like really extensive investment, right? So milking parlor equipment you can sell. I sure would hope it would get repurposed at some point and not sold to other animal exploiters. Vacuum pumps, definitely, like you have like motors you can like sell it for parts. But I'm guessing at this point, right, we're in this world, right? We are in this world. Let me just, since Pia mentioned Dominion, let me just find one and link it to you. Dominion 2018. Let me just find the link. Oh, bruh. Okay. There you go. Oh, hello, Jedediah. I missed you so much. Right, let's continue. So, you can sell milking parlor equipment, you can sell vacuum pumps, milk cooling tanks. That's the thing that I meant when I said cringe. When I said calling it tankers, so it's milk cooling tanks, robotic milk systems if present, calf hatchets, paddocks, squeeze chutes, all of those. What do you do with a calf? Jesus Christ, bro. It is, yeah. Just fucking put them on pasture, I guess, immediately. Or send them to sanctuaries, that would be best. So, second-hand buyers are other dairies, developing country buyers, farm auctions, ag machinery brokers, right? This finances the crop transition. Perfect. Keep what converts well. Do not bulldoze everything. Oh, thank you. I wouldn't have thought of that. So you have, you keep tractors, you keep feed wagons, can mix grain, grain orders, often adaptable. I don't know what that is. What is a grain order? How do you say that even? And Jesus, please, no penises. Oh, that thing. Oh, fuck me. All of those things exist as well, right? If you have those things, those are probably expensive as fuck. But you'll need them for the grain. Right. Storage sheds and office and power infrastructure, obviously. And then repurpose freestall barns for grain storage and processing, silage bunkers, covered grain storage, manure lagoons, nutrient reservoirs. You repurpose a manure lagoon. How do you even do that? How do you even fucking do that? Oh, did that? You so deserve it. So deserve it, you stupid fuck. Please come back when you're like an actual human being. Phase 2. Become a profitable oat farmer. 1 to 3 years. You do not need oat milk yet. Yeah. You can just make grain. You can just make oats. People eat oats. You can like sell it to somebody who makes oat milk as well, right? You can just stay in phase 2. You don't even have to transition to phase 3. You have something most oat farmers don't. Free fertility. Fertilizer. There you go. Key points. Oat thrive with moderate nitrogen. Excess manure is lodging risk. Plants fall over. Compost or dilute and high-end manure. Apply the sowing on early tillering. This slashes fertilizer costs and improves soil carbon. Yeah. So crop plan, don't monocrop. Core crop, food grade oats, higher price than feed oats. Sure, for sure. We don't want to continue profiting from animal exploitation, so we must have it food oats, right? Rotation oats, then legumes, peas, clover, oats with barley, occasional cover crops. Yeah, you can like rotate oats and soy. I think they have different. Yeah, soy is basically like a legume, right? So you can rotate oats with soy, and then 1 year make oat milk, and the other soy milk. Yeah. Cool. Reduce disease, stabilize income, improves soil. Income reality, important for staying afloat. Typical, very rough, varies by region. Feed oats, lower margin, very stable. Food grade oats, moderate margins, that's good. Right, like low margins is bad because then you can lose money on a crop. What are you saying, Tone? You'll still need 1 year rest on land with mulch, which would cut down overall profit. That's fine. So, high margin, organic oats after conversion, high margin. Yeah, but like organic sucks. We shouldn't do that. It's just like a scam. Organic transition was serious consideration. You already have manure. You're exiting intensive livestock. Oat performs well organically. I guess for the first year or so, you can exploit the humans a little bit and sell them with the organic stuff. Hey, what's up, Felix? Yeah, I'm getting hydrated. You see, I have like a little bit of syrup in my water as well, so it's sweet. It's non-sugar syrup. It has aspartame in it. Okay. And it says oat perform well organically. I guess if you're retiring the animals on pasture, you can still collect their manure. So I guess you can stay in organic production because people seem convinced by organic for some reason, which is silly anyways. Even before oat milk, many ex-dairy farms survive purely as grain farms. Somebody remind me to ask this later. How many ex-dairy farms are there? I want to know this. And let me just get you the Challenge 22 link as well. Challenge22.com. There you go. There's the link. Challenge22.com is what good people do to remain good. You go there and you become vegan. But actually, you just go on a plant-based diet for 22 days to cure yourself of the habits of eating animal products. You know, that's what you do. Okay. So somebody please, I'm going to put it in the chat. Somebody please remind me to ask this. Let me just, X farmers. Let me just, okay. Phase 3, value addition, oat milk. After 3 years that you've grown oats. This is where margins jump, but only if done carefully. Decide how deep you want to go. Option A, sell oats to oat milk processors, lowest risk, stable contracts, no processing investment, lower margins but safe. Option B would be on-farm micro-processing, medium risk, small batch oat milk, local regional markets, people love that shit. Farm brand, ex-dairy to plant milk is powerful, that's true. Like all the vegans are gonna go buy from you, like drive to the farm and buy stuff. And cooperative processing, that's best balance, partner with other oat growers, shared processing facility, low individual capital risk. Another thing I want to ask it, what to do with oat mulch? I'm sorry, I'm just using chat as like a reminder for later. Okay. So equipment for oat milk when ready. Minimal viable setup. Dehuller, so removing the hulls. Soaking tanks, wet grinder, enzyme treatment, optional. No, it's not optional. No. It's important so that the thing isn't slimy. You must have enzyme treatment. Excuse me, how the fuck do you make oat milk without enzyme treatment? I tried, it's gross. Filtration, pasteurization, that's really important. You don't want to give people all kinds of bacteria and shit. And bottling. This is food manufacturing, not farming. Regulations matter. Yeah, I guess the best thing would be to go for like just selling the oats, wouldn't it? This option of like actually becoming a producer, that just sounds like hard. Maybe it's something you can go into in the end, right? Very much after a couple of years. Okay, so cash flow survival tactics, that's crucial. While transitioning, lease unused land short term, that's a good idea. You can do weddings in there. People want to come and like pet cows, right? So you can introduce the cows who are now your pet animals, I suppose, to the wider population for them to see. You can become a sanctuary yourself, right? As well, if you're not killing those animals, if you're not exploiting them anymore, you just put them to pasture and you become a sanctuary where people can visit the cows and pet them. And understand how amazing those animals are. Yeah, sell straw. Where would you sell the straw if not back into dairy farming or beef farming and shit like that, back into animal agriculture? I guess you can sell like decorative straw, but who the fuck buys that once in a while? It's not something that is commercially viable. So I would say that's, unless you're willing to turn it into green manure and then sell that, that could be cool, right? grabbing that straw and turning it into green manure. That's cool. You can find you can do all kinds of stuff. Also, make sure that product packaging is compostable. Yeah, that's a good idea. Somebody's looking for somebody. Okay, and then contract grow oats for processors. Contract grow oats for processors. Okay, so you find a contract for people who want the crop. Apply for crop transition subsidies, organic conversion grants, climate manual reduction programs. Many governments explicitly fund livestock to crop transitions, even if quietly. Many governments explicitly fund livestock to crop transitions, even if quietly. That's interesting. That's also something that I want to ask. What governments do that? Sorry, again, using the chat to to set reminders. So not exactly you didn't really meet exploitation, no exploitation, because you suggested rehoming them for exploitation. You yourself are not exploiting, but the animals are still being exploited, right? So I guess that's not really the best. Sanctuaries need straw as well. That's true. Bianca, that's perfect. And actually, you have an entire field of animals that you're no longer exploiting. You can just feed them with the straw from the crops. That's a good idea. I don't know where my brain is. Thank you, Bianca, for being my brain today. Isn't that perfect? All right. Arable land, central assets, major advantage is from a manure being available, and you can still take the manure from the animals, right? Then don't give a shit, literally. And a key funding source would be to sell the structures, the dairy equipment structures. We can continue breaking this down for a little while, but I think that's enough. Reality check, honest. This is harder emotionally than technically, easy economically than most farmers assume. That's good. Much safer than staying in dairy long term. Market volatility, climate pressure, regulation, yeah. And dairy to plant agriculture transitions are increasingly viewed as future proofing, not charity. That's good. If you want the next step, well, no, give us a second. First of all, let's just fucking build a farm, an old farm now. So first of all, we are selling the milking machine. There you go. We are sending calves and cows to pasture to live out together. So cows and calves on pasture. Let's grab an image there. Those are different individuals. Those are not the cows that are usually exploited for dairy, but, let's just, pretend. So no longer caging animals in headlocks and shit. That's our sanctuary part of the farm, right? It's going to be a bunch of individual animals. We're going to remove tags as well. So you can see tags there, but we're going to remove them. We're not going to have tags on these animals. And then you can sell this stuff. You actually keep the feed, right? And you keep the shit. You possibly keep the sheds for the animals to hang out in the winter, right? But you also add oat fields. And oh, what a beautiful picture, right? That's like the first step. And then we can start thinking about the actual milk production. But first, this is our new farm. The forage. Sorry, I should reduce this because we should see the forage. The forage will go to the animals in the winter. You can also sell it to sanctuaries if you have enough. You can also, that's what you can use the oat mulch for. Feed for the sanctuary animals and your own animals. That's fantastic. All the stuff that I didn't think of. Thank you, Bianca. Thank you again. And I'm sorry if you're giving me more suggestions as well, but I haven't seen it. Just tag me and then I'll have to see it with the corner of my eye. Just happened to, Bianca happened to catch my eye. All right. So, what did I want to ask? We're going to ask the question about oat mulch. Anyways, right, let's ask that. So, what can I do with the oat meal? I guess it would be called. Right. Oatmeal can mean two different things that you can do. It depends on which stage you are talking about. I'll cover both. Okay. If by oatmeal you mean whole oat groats, rolled oats, oat flour, no. I mean the oats left over from the milk. You can have like, you can sell it to producers, the oats, and then ask them to give you the stuff that is left, the fiber and shit. Right, the pulp. Yeah, it's pulp. I should have asked about the pulp. I'll go on ChatGPT to understand me. So you can just like tell them, give them a slightly cheaper contract, but tell them to give you the pulp, right? It's extremely important because this material is not waste. It's not. You can make it into human food. Oat pulp is fiber rich, so you can make crackers, granola, energy bars, bakery inclusions. That's cool. It's probably a relatively good. Well, I guess not without the slimy milk stuff. But it could be pretty good like egg replacer in some stuff, wouldn't it? High fiber, upcycled ingredients. Yeah, fantastic stuff. And then animal-free uses, no exploitation, rules out animals' exploitation. So the ethical alternatives are compost and soil amendment mixed with manure, blah, blah, blah. So you can turn it back into like replenishing the earth. And then you can do mushroom cultivation substrate. It's not giving us the feeding the animals who are in sanctuaries and your own personal sanctuary at this point as well, right? So you can grow mushrooms, you can create fermentation products. That's interesting. Lactic fermentation for savory foods. Ooh, you can do all kinds of stuff. Ooh, it could be like substrate for all kinds of stuff, for like maybe B12, since we learned so much about B12 on Chip's stream. It could be a substrate for B12, growing B12 bacteria. And biodegradable materials, so packaging and stuff. What is it? You can make industrial material uses. Fiber, broad blends, prototypes. Strategy to don't dump oatmeal as waste. Yeah, no, absolutely. This is gold mine. Don't rush into bottled oat milk immediately. Yeah. I know. We should first create the crop. Don't underprice food grade oats by treating them as feed. Yeah, no problem. Straw can be sold to, I can't read. Straw can be sold to industries who turn it into paper, tissue paper, toilet paper, cardboard. My toilet paper is like 50% made from straw. That's interesting. Ooh, toilet paper straw. Sounds painful. But I'm sure it's very soft. Sorry. I've been talking for an hour, so... I was debating somebody right before going live, so... Okay, a realistic value stacking pathway. So, but who cares? Okay, let's continue. So what did I want to ask him? Okay. How many eggs dairy farms are there? You mentioned that, let me just find it real quick, what they mentioned that, where is it? There you go. That many dairy farms, ex-dairy farms survive as grain farms. So I wonder if you have a number. Here's what we do know from real farm statistics about dairy to non-dairy transitions, and also where the data limits actually are. Well, the data limits are. This is like a personal thing that people do, right? So that don't necessarily like let us know about it, that kind of situation. So dairy farm numbers are declining fast, but there is no global count on ex-dairy farms. That's fine. US, United States example, most detailed data available. It always is. In the US, dairy farms have declined dramatically over decades. Around 648,000 dairy farms in 1970, around 24,000 dairy farms reported in the 2022 USDA census, and 95% drop. Let's remind everybody that doesn't mean that less individuals are actually exploited. It just means that farms became bigger and the smaller farms are the ones that transitioned or closed, right? Well, less individuals are exploited because also they breed them differently. They breed them to produce basically more milk for less individuals. So that happened as well, right? So between 2017 and 2022 alone, the number dropped from 39,300 to 24,080, a 39% decline. That decline reflects farm exiting dairy production, but not all of those become crop farms. Some become other businesses and sold as land without farming or retire. Perfect. That is also an option. Okay, I've lost interest in this question. And then what else did I want to ask it? I really hope you can't hear the child squealing. Let me just see what I asked. Manix Dairy, what to do with oat mulch? I asked that. And the other, many governments explicit, blah, 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 blah. You said, and I quote, this thing, right? Where is the cursor? Oh, there you go. How many and which ones and how do they do it? Let's find out. Let's see. There are government programs in a number of countries that can help farmers move away from livestock production towards plant-based farming, land conversion, or sustainable cropping, but they vary widely, and few are explicitly labeled livestock to crop transition programs. Many are framed as conservation, diversification, organic transition, or rural development incentives that effectively support the transition you are aiming for. That's good. Let's hide it under non-vegan language. And yeah, let's just like make them do it for profit. Right? Sorry, so thirsty. Below is an overview of which governments have such support, how the funding generally works, and how it could help a dairy to oat transition. USDA conservation and transition programs. Most US federal support for farm transitions comes through Farm Bill programs administered by USDA agency like the Natural Resources Conservation Service and Farm Service Agency FSA. These include environmental quality incentives programs, help with cost sharing and technical assistance for conservation practices, including soil and water improvements that benefit crop production, covers a range of practices that are relevant when shifting from pasture dairy to arable crops. Conservation stewardship programs pays farmers for actively managing and expanding conservation activities such as cover cropping, rotational planting, and organic transition activities, all useful for crop-based farming after dairy. Active participation can provide a reliable income stream while establishing new cropping system, agricultural management assistance. I'm losing the ability to care. These aren't designed solely for livestock exit, but they make crop transition more affordable, help with soil health and infrastructure, and give cost share payments to offset risks. Targeted farm transition grants. They are actually like speaking out about it, non-governmental and public support. There are also independent or NGO-linked grants in the US that specifically help farmers move away from animal agriculture, so farm transition grants, around $15,000. Yeah, you can do some damage with that. In some states like Wisconsin and Iowa, have been offered to farmers planning to shift from dairy livestock to crop, orchards, or mushrooms. God damn it. Make mushrooms cheaper again. Grow more of them, please. Sorry, now I'm thinking about mushrooms. Delicious. Oh my fucking God. These are not federal programs yet, but they demonstrate emerging targeted support. European Union and member states. So EU Common Agricultural Policy and national aid. Well, I knew about the European Union, that they are like incentivizing people to do this, farmers. Allows member states to provide transition grants vary country to country. They tried to help someone in Morocco one day. We tried to help someone in Morocco one day. Who's we? Who's we? Is that something I don't know about you, Tone? Spill the beans. Who we is. We found them, some NGOs. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. What a beautiful idea. You had to work with artificial intelligence to transform this world into a beautiful world. Congratulations. Yeah, look at that. Look how pretty. The individuals are not exploited. They get to live out their lives, eating delicious food like oat pulp and forage. Still producing poop. I'm sorry. I don't find that exploitative. If they're just like shitting and you walking around picking that shit, as long as you're not keeping them for shit, I don't find that exploitative at all. You can continue, you can grab all that shit and you can use it to grow oats. In my opinion. You can disagree with me. You can call me a welfarist. You can call me non-vegan. I think that's not exploitative. Not covered in shit from being in a cave. Oh, that's true. Look at them. Beautiful individuals. Well, they're still exploited. You see the tags. But we're pretending. We're pretending. And you still get to keep your cool shit lagoon. So that's cool. Funny. It's probably going to be more difficult to collect the shit when they live on pasture, wouldn't it? Pretending is cool. Hand over your car at 3 p.m. That's fine. That's fine. Which version of this world would God prefer? Ah, you're asking a question to short animations. I guess I can put it on my screen as well, right? I can put that question on my screen. 2 possible worlds. There you go. Is that easier, Andrew? And if you tie your morality to God, it's definitely a good question to ask. Which one God would prefer? Even animal sanctuaries have to wear tags? Maybe in some places, yeah, but I've seen enough videos of tag removals and stuff. They still have to be owned. They still have to be legally owned. That's true. And some, yeah, I saw some farmed, like some sanctuaries, like for instance, the Mustache Farmer, who has a beautiful sanctuary, beautiful animals. Some of them still wear tags. That's true. Yeah. Well, before you ask a question, short animations, you should probably answer a question that Andrew asked you, right? That would be the honest thing to do. But I'll answer yours while you're pondering that one. My mom kept 2 cows on 12 acres. Is that bad? Well, yeah. Why did you keep the cows? The tags are just symbolic. The tags are just symbolic. Why did she keep them? Is it for exploitation for dairy? Because if it is, then no. That's not cool. Not only a bunch of stuff would have to happen in order to exploit them for dairy, right? They would have to get pregnant, for instance. What would happen to the babies? And it's not a matter of size. You can kill somebody in relatively like small size, right? If you have all of their needs met. Like sanctuaries are not big, they can't be. It's too expensive. But the individuals are taken care of there because they're not considered objects to exploit. Yeah, 12 acres can grow a lot of human food. That's true as well. Otherwise, her friend was gonna sell them because she became allergic to cows. So were they cow pets? Or were they exploited for milk? Or later for beef? Yeah, what happened to the cows? There are also all these questions that immediately arise in the head of the vegan. Because we know that people lie about shit like that, right? Hey, what's up, Ben, the vegan farmer? I actually wanted to talk to you. I wanted to ask you if you want to join Swayfeed. If you wanted to be part of the project that I'm creating. You can join the server and tag me there, ping me there, and we can discuss how I'll tell you how to join and how to promote the server so that everybody else joins as well. By the way, there are efforts to build the first tofu factory in Morocco. That's cool. That's very cool. All right, let's... I was in the middle of something. Grey Noga, we don't need that. Oh yeah, I was in the middle of this. So in Denmark, Denmark announced incentive to support farmers growing plant-based foods instead of livestock production, backed by a multi-year agricultural fund. That's good, multi-year, because they do need a bit of help, not only on the first year. Belgium offers support for converting land to organic or natural use, particularly covering costs, a mechanism that can support moving out of animal agriculture. That's true. Just to remind everybody, right? Like dairy farms sit on shitload of land, right? And like, let's say you do it not very ethically, right? And you sell the animals, and now you have all this land. There are a bunch of stuff you can do with it. You don't just have to grow crops. You can do non-farming activities on that, right? You can provide that venue for weddings. You can create some kind of, I don't know, game/activity on that land. You can create like housing, right? You can bring up relatively cheap housing. You can build relatively cheap housing there for people who want to vacation in the middle of nowhere. I'm one of those people. I love going to the middle of nowhere, right? And you can sell it and get another job. Yeah. I was avoiding that one, Bianca, because it's like, you know, I don't know if, like what skills farmers have, but I did hear this initiative that farmers can, yeah, just learn to do something else. But I don't know. Farmers, I think they're like a different type of person that won't necessarily fit into a cubicle that easily, right? It's going to be hard for them. I suppose. It's the obvious. I know it's the obvious thing. I was avoiding it on purpose, but I read out your thing anyways. All right. Did I get an answer? I don't know. It's blurry for you. Or can other people read my screen? Can you guys read my screen, or is it blurry for you as well? Please let me know if it's blurry. I did have like an upload issue with one of the videos. It uploaded like it didn't like upgrade to HD. So it was just like a weird ass would just be your phone. Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So Netherlands has programs that compensate farmers who stop intensive livestock production and aims to reduce livestock numbers significantly via dedicated funding through its rural program. Well, they still can have low livestock, so it's not really incentive to like stop exploiting individuals. You know what I mean? Much of this support comes via CAP rural development payments, environment eco scheme funding, or national restructuring programs. Yeah, I read it fine. This can help cover income foregone during crop establishment and land use. So far we have the US. If you in the EU, we have. I'm losing interest. We have Canada. How those programs work. It's too much information. Yeah, so a bunch of places where farmers can just get help to switch to crop farming. So I guess there we go, guys. I guess we successfully transitioned from a dairy farm into an oat milk or oat food farm where we can stop exploiting sentient individuals. We can allow them to continue living a good life while eating forage and oat pulp. Yeah. Oh, I did ask, Andrew. I did ask. It gave not a great answer because it can't really. But well, it said that in the US, right? There was a 95% drop of farms from 1970 to 2022. That means farms either transitioned or closed. That doesn't mean much about like individuals being exploited. So it could be just like most of the farms. It probably is that most of the farms are just became mega farms, right? Well, they can grow any crop on their land. Doesn't have to be for milk. Yeah. I just chose an example, right? Just chose an example because it's like one-to-one comparison, right? We going from producing one type of milk, exploitative, immoral, blood containing milk, into another type of milk that is more moral, or like almost entirely moral, or can become 100% moral. Yeah, it's just like a big improvement. And now you're, of course, a vegan farmer and you have all of these individuals to love as well. So that's cool. That's really interesting. Oh, Axel, the thing that you asked me, let me get off. Let me get some food and we can have a conversation if you want. Let me know about that, right? Were you still talking to a person there? Somebody in there. All right. Guys, I'm gonna get off and I'm gonna go to Axel if he wants to. Go talk to Axel. Short animations. Please come back. Let's continue having a conversation. How about that? Does that sound good? Let's continue having discussions since Pia is our good cop, our resident good cop. We can continue talking about stuff. All right. Thank you everybody for coming, and I'll see you next time.